Thank you so much, and thank you so much for your courage and for your advocacy for not just your children, but children across America. That's who you're sitting there representing today, not just your child, but all the children that we as adults promise we will fight to protect because they're all our kids. One point that I want to make, because I think sometimes people maybe don't appreciate, but for the grace of God, goes anyone in this room who could be in your chair. You're not unique. This can happen in any family. And until we really get people to appreciate and understand that, we won't build the army that we need, because Backpage is a small part of this. If Backpage goes away tomorrow, which we would all love, there will be another Backpage. There will be another run at this. And if we don't stay vigilant together, if we don't walk together, if we don't fight together, if we don't believe that we can conquer this problem together, we will not do our job as adults in America. And so we sit here with no greater power than those of you who sit at this table and those of us who are in this room. No one has greater power, but together we have the most power to prevent this from ever happening. And the invisibility, I think, Nicole, you said it so correctly. This is no longer the street corner where we can look, where law enforcement can drive by and say, I don't think that's a kid that is volunteering to be out here. This is no longer the street corner. The street corner now is digital. And until we start exposing all of the wrong that happens to children in this digital media and stop standing behind inappropriately important constitutional protections in this country, we will surely fail. And so I want to tell you that we're in this fight with you, and no one here is giving up. No one from the McCain Institute is giving up. Cindy's not giving up. Kamala's not giving up. We are not giving up, because there is a way to do this. And as smart as their lawyers think they are, we're pretty smart too. And we got a whole lot of people behind us who are thinking how we're going to get this done. But we need to figure out the second piece of this. There's two other pieces: prevention and recovery. And you all have spoken so eloquently today about recovery and about services. We've been trying to reauthorize the Runaway and Homeless Youth Program, because a critical piece of this is making sure kids, Nicole, I'm tragically so upset that how your daughter was courted and got into this was in a shelter. So what do we need to educate shelter workers that this can never happen, that they have to be more vigilant about preventing this? What can we do to get more kids off the street? What additional resources do you think would be valuable in the prevention side? And I'd ask anyone on the panel.
Well, go. Well, I would say as far as prevention, every kid has a cell phone now. Every kid has access to this evil, and this evil has access to them. Prevention would probably start with educating them about the ways that predators are able to contact them and to ease their way into their lives. Like, just the other day, some grown man comes into my daughter's Snapchat DM. It's very easy for people to pick and choose when social media sites post the pictures. You're choosing to post your pictures, and then there's a predator on the other side behind that screen that is preying on these kids. But if you don't teach your children, because that's ground zero right there, teaching the children and teaching them at an early enough age where they, just like sex education, you're teaching that in school. Like, why not offer an internet advocacy class to teach these children how to navigate through this world that we're all still trying to figure out. We're all still having a problem with it. But we can do all we want, but they're the victims, and so you have to educate them at that level.
I would agree that earlier prevention techniques at a much younger age, because you have children as young as 8 or 9 that are getting cell phones. Even though there are parent protections on there, children are very smart and can find their way around that. So starting prevention at a much younger age. Also, first responders. My daughter, in my case, was arrested twice prior to being recovered. Both times held in adult jail, and both times released back to her trafficker.
Wow.
So first responders, you know, people that come in contact with these young girls or young men in hospitals or on the street need to be educated on what they're looking for, you know. Also having in place, in my case, upon recovery, she was taken immediately to the emergency room for all the testing that you would find reasonable: AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, pregnancy. And the resources I was given at that visit was a pamphlet on domestic violence and told to have a nice day, and there was nothing they could do for me. I'm sorry, she's had too many partners, we can't do a rape kit. Okay. This was not domestic violence. There was no resource outside of that in my community that was given to me that said, you need to call this person, or, you know, that's where the case was left, right there.
If I can just indulge, Susan Collins, Senator Collins and I have a bill called SOAR, which is to do better training for emergency room and medical responders. And so, but every suggestion that you have, every thought that you have is valuable as we navigate not just the enforcement piece of this, but as we navigate the prevention and recovery piece of this, which we all have to be in together. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, for indulging some extra time.